Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another video. So, y'all know I do not review the Belle Collective. I haven't since for a really long time. Mostly just because it's not that I don't watch the show. I watch it, but I don't really be feeling the need to really review it because, to be quite honest, I feel like I would get on here and say the same thing every time, which is Lateisha is a dumbass, Glendale is broke and a dumbass, Latrice is fucking she's a really smart girl, but she's ditzy as hell, and she's staying for the bag and want to convince the rest of us that she's not staying for the bag. Cliff is 155 years old. What else do we got? JJ can garn darn it. JJ can garn darn it. Every garn darn it. He can't even talk, but I'm not gonna hold you. I love JJ. JJ's probably my favorite person on this show. So Gucci / Sophia is very high and mighty. I didn't like Selena when she was on Bring It, and Marie Monroe do a lot, and really the last couple seasons or two, she been kind of staying away from the collective as a whole. And Akeisha, to me, gives me my great aunt, she gives me great auntie vibes. So with all that said, what am I going to come over here and say every week? Like I said, that Latrice is a dumbass, that Cliff is fucking controlling and manipulative, that Glendale is a fucking dumbass and a cheater and a liar and a scammer, and that Lateisha is a liar and a scammer and a manipulator and all of those words as well. I'm not going to come on here every week and say that, so I don't review the show. However, I did watch this season, the majority of this season. Specifically, I watched, I knew that there was a fight that was coming up at the end. And I could tell where it was going because throughout the whole season, right, Cliff and Glenn have been shooting at Willie. Now, I'm trying to be very, in the middle about this and say that, yes, Willie does kind of throw shots. They both be throwing shots back and forth. But I feel like Glenn and Cliff are way more outwardly and serious about their not liking him, versus I feel like when Willie be going back and forth, he just be playing along, and they be more serious. Cliff said at least 15 times this season, specifically sitting next to him, in front of him, that he don't like him. That last time when they all went out, it was Willie, and then Cliff was sitting next to him, then it was Glendale, and then it was JJ. And the time that JJ and Glenn kind of got into a small back and forth, because this is right after JJ had left the event because Selena came in. So Glendale is saying to JJ, I don't think that you should have done that. They have a little back and forth. And then Cliff was like, yeah, I'm cool with everybody except Willie. I don't like Willie, and literally pointing to him. And Willie just laughed it off. And Cliff kept saying it. And all he said is I just want to make it clear. I have respect for every single last one of y'all. I know it is what it is, but I have every single, respect for all of y'all. As long as everybody's being respectful, I'm cool. And Glendale's response was you all right, you okay, you cool. So then we get to Taste or whatever at the end of the episode. And let me start off by saying this before I go any further. I know that people are talking about, oh, there was more to the fight, or Latrice and Lateisha said, we don't care about there being more. Fuck the fight. We talking about why it happened. We don't care about the actual happenings of the fight. At least I don't. Let's talk about who started it and why. Let's talk about that. Glendale looking tacky as hell, came into that daggone event. All of the cast is sitting in the same spot. The first person that he comes upon is Willie. And Willie reaches out to try to dap him up. And he literally slaps his hand. Let's go back to the bus for a second, right? When the whole invite happened. Glenn was on a bus with everybody talking about how he was going to have a party. And Willie was like, oh, so we not invited or whatever? And it wasn't Akeisha, it was Willie who jumped up, was so we not invited? He was like, oh, I didn't even know that you would want to come. I didn't know that you, he was like, of course I want to come. It's not... This is my opinion. In my opinion, Glendale and Cliff literally exacerbated whatever little issue may have been between them and Willie. And all season, people could say whatever they want to say about Willie leading up to this season, but this season in particular, Willie has went out of his way. I can tell compared to other seasons. He went out of his way to try to be around more this season. He went out of his way to let everybody know that regardless of what you think, I'm not here to disrespect nobody. He genuinely went out of his way multiple times this season to try to show that, look, I'm here, I'm cool, I ain't got no problem. While Cliff and Glendale have went out of their way to be disrespectful. That's the difference. Let's talk about what happened this season, okay? So then we get to the party. Like I said, Glendale comes up into the spot or whatever. The first person that's like sitting kind of like in the little booth is Willie and then Akeisha. Willie reaches out to try to dap up Glendale. Glendale pretty much swats his hand. So off rip, you're on some bullshit. So let's really talk about, everybody always want to talk about how shit ended and not how we got somewhere. So let's talk about how we got there. All season, you niggas, as he said, Dumb and Dumber, been coming for me all season, and I've been keeping it cute because this is for my wife. And as he said at the end, I got contracts. He actually has shit to lose compared to Glendale and Cliff. That man actually has shit to lose. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to keep it cool, calm, and collected. So then, all right, cool. You don't want to dap me up. All right, whatever. That probably kind of started it off. Then everybody sit down and Cliff and Glendale start talking shit. Like, they start talking shit to each other, but they think that Akeisha and Willie can't hear. So Glenn leans over to Cliff and says, oh, Willie's just mad because you got a hot young wife, Latrice, and he just got Akeisha. Where the fuck did that even come from? Where did that come from? Super unnecessary. What are y'all even talking about? What are y'all talking about? So it goes from that, and then Cliff starts to say, like, yeah, well, we don't really like Willie, and Akeisha can overhear it. And I know people feel like, oh, Akeisha should have stayed out of it or whatever, like, let the men handle it. But first of all, I brought my husband on this show. I brought him on here, not him. He's only here because I asked him to be. So that's number one. Number two, the way that I'm big stepping, I'm 10 toes down behind my husband, and y'all talking shit about my husband right next to me, I don't give two shits who you are. Nobody talks shit about my husband, specifically when I brought him into this group. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who you are. Cat, dog, man, woman, bear. I'm gonna call you out. Period. And like she said, they kept saying they don't like that they didn't like Willie. And she was like, how about saying to Willie, like, how about they saying that, let's stick to this part, them saying that they don't like you, and the fact that we don't give a fuck. Because I love the way that she said they don't like you, so, and tell them we don't care. Because y'all could be talking about just him, but you're talking about my husband, we. So we don't give two flying fucks if Dumb and Dumber like you or not. So it goes from there, and I heard Cliff must have said something about like him being a Belle or something, because he kept referencing like how, I don't understand how Glenn and Cliff run their mouth as much as they do and trying to be all up in the video and trying to steal mostly Glendale trying to be all up in the fucking video and all up in the show, but he's the one who acts like a woman. How? He sits there and he says nothing. He constantly lets y'all disrespect him and says nothing. But he's the woman. Okay. So I think he must have said something about a Belle. And then I guess Willie got fed up. Willie was like, you could suck on these bells. Now, some people could say that that's taking it too far, but I can understand when somebody's being fed up. Like, you're only going to be able to keep running your mouth but so damn much. And Cliff in particular had a battery in his back called Glendale who would not stop hyping him. I'm telling you right now, if Glenn was not there, Cliff would have not went that hard. Cliff would have never stood up. He wouldn't have been running his mouth. And the same thing with Glenn. Glenn and Cliff were feeding off of each other. And that's not fair when it's a 2-on-1 situation. That's not fair at all. So at some point, Cliff stands up like his old 155 year ass about to fucking do something. So Willie stands up, and I love it. When Willie stood up, he didn't stand up on no, I'm about to fight. He just stood up like, and he fixed his jacket, he fixed his suit, and was like, okay, if you standing up, I'm standing up. What the fuck are we doing? We grown ass men. If you standing up, that must mean you want to do something, grandpa. Must mean you want to do something, grandpa. So then from there, I guess Glendale started feeling himself or whatever because Grandpa had stood up. So then he stood up. And then Cliff going to try to say, like, in his confessional, like, oh, Willie's always trying to make fun of Glendale's rap career. What rap career? Let's stop playing these reindeer ass games around here, right? So then it went from that, and then I can't really remember. I think it was Glenn who started to go really, really super hype. And then all of a sudden, like, so then Akeisha and Lateisha start going back and forth. Lateisha's like, bitch, what the fuck you want to do? Lateisha, sit your bad having wig ass down. Sit down, because I do believe that Akeisha would have mopped your ass. And then you see, I think they said it was like Akeisha's cousin or something that kind of came from the side. Now, allegedly, they're trying to say pretty much that Akeisha had like a lot of her family there or whatever. And they said they called them goons, but it was just her family or whatever. And my thing is, that's not surprising to me at all. First of all, if Akeisha is actually from there the way that y'all say that she is, then that would make sense that in such a small ass fucking town for something like that, that probably some of her family members would be there. Secondly, she probably felt, her and Willie probably felt like y'all was on some bullshit. So yeah, I'm gonna have my family there. Now y'all are talking about shit that doesn't matter. We're talking about what started it. And what started it was Cliff, and then Glenn trying to be a battery in his back. And so when Glenn gets up or whatever and tries to go at Willie is like, I'm him. I'm big nigga, fuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom. Like that's what Willie said. What are y'all even talking about? So literally somebody got Glenn out of there with literally one arm. It took a whole bunch of people. Willie was a football player. He would literally snap Glendale like a fucking twig. Like, it wouldn't even be that daggone hard. So they didn't really show much of the fight or whatever, which kills me because, well, not about that part, but the fact that's what, like, I went on Latisha's Twitter and that's what she's holding on to. Like, oh, well, what happened to the fight? Who cares about what happened in the fight? We're talking about how we got there. So then, you see Akeisha, she's outside. She was like, I tried to be nice to these people. I'm tired of it. Willie is like, man, I got contracts and stuff. I'm not even trying to, I don't even got time to like be in this type of nonsense. And then you see Lateisha in the alleyway, like, she's been jealous of me. I've been trying to let her out. Let's call a spade, Lateisha. Let's call a spade a spade. Lateisha has a problem with Akeisha because she's jealous. And Lateisha can say all day she wants to on Twitter, like, oh, well, I'm the one who brought her on. Do you think that matters? How many people have brought someone on the show, whether it was Housewives or whatever, for them to turn around and not be friends? That's normally how it goes, to be quite honest. Let's really talk about it. When Belle Collective first started, Lateisha was the one who was pretty much seen as like the middle person, like the common ground person who was cool with everybody. And when Lateisha first started this, her storyline was that she was going to do this big thing with Ferris Street. I don't think that Lateisha really had any real plans on doing anything with Ferris Street. I think it was a storyline, and that's all it was. It was storyline. She talked about it season 1, cool. Season 2, she did nothing. Season 3, she did nothing. So then we bring on Akeisha, who number one has a husband that was in the NFL. Mind you, Akeisha's husband is Glendale, who works on a damn tugboat, okay? So there's that right there. The fact that, for real, Akeisha, from my understanding, doesn't even really live there in Jackson. She really lives like with Willie and stuff like that in Jersey. And then the fact that Akeisha actually has real ties, though, although she does not live there right now, she has real ties there, and she has real ties to Ferris Street. So all of that, plus the fact that she was actually able to get something done. So what Latisha's original storyline was, Akeisha was actually able to come out and actually get it done. Within like a year or two, within a season or two, she was able to get something done that she's been talking about. Lateisha has been talking about for the last 4 or 5 damn seasons. Let's really talk about it. And then not only that, but Akeisha, it seems like in the show, it seems like she's better fit to me for that glue role than Lateisha is, because Lateisha is all over the place. I also think it's a problem for Lateisha that Lateisha has gone down in the rankings or in popularity. I feel like within the fans, and Akeisha has either stayed in the middle or gone up. Now when she first came on, people didn't really like her, but as time has gone on, people have started to like Akeisha. I think all of that together, Lateisha has a problem with Akeisha because of that. She does not like her. It's jealousy. It is what it is. It's pure jealousy. Look at your life. Look at her life. Look at how you started the show, and then look at how she has been able to come on the show and really actually compare. The only people that really have been able to get things done really on the show that we've seen is Latrice has opened like her goddess length. We saw her, and we've seen the evolution of that. We've seen her now open taste. Marie has opened about 2-3 damn clinics at this point in time. Akeisha has stuff moving with Fair Street. We don't really know much about So Gucci or whatever. We only heard about the real estate, but we don't see anything. But So Gucci and Lateisha is really the only people that we don't really see do much. Lateisha does brunches for what we still don't understand the point of these damn fucking brunches. We still don't get it. You have had the same damn shit since season 1. Where's the evolution? Hating. So I didn't really even watch the rest of the episode. I just kind of skimmed through it. But I saw that when Latrice and Lateisha were talking at the very end, they said that it was Willie and Akeisha's fault that fight started. And that it's so bad that Latrice has now Marie above Akeisha, and then they're like, we don't really think that she fits in the collective, aka they're trying to now kick her off the show. I hate you weird ass bitches. Y'all are so mean girl coded. It's nasty work. It's nasty. I am tired, and this to me is why I feel like, I'm gonna be real, I feel like this is why reality TV as a whole, as far as like the whole housewife premise and like just that whole ensemble of having some women together, I really think the reason why it's going downhill and isn't the same way that it used to be is because of shit like this. You bitches now on all of these different shows like The Housewives and this and Love and Huntsville, whatever, y'all literally get mad at somebody. It could only be 1 or 2 of y'all that's mad at another girl on the cast and will actively do whatever y'all can to get her kicked off the show. That's why it's lame now versus just being like, I don't like her, but it is what it is. We work together. Y'all actively try to do things to get somebody kicked off a show, to get a bag taken away from somebody because you're in your feelings about something. That to me is the most trash part about all of this. All of that stuff that happened between you and Marie Latrice, and never did you ever say you wanted, oh, well, let's try to get her off of here. Y'all are trash. And if anybody can go, Lateisha, you can go. We don't want you. We don't need you. You can go as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that Willie and Akeisha, if I'm Willie and Akeisha, I want to leave anyway. I'm not about to sit up here and try to be part of this. Y'all want to have y'all little clickety click, 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 clack. And now Latrice and Lateisha, y'all are best friends. And the minute that Akeisha leaves, don't worry, Latrice. Lateisha will turn on you the way that she did a second ago. Be clear. She'll turn on you. She'll turn on you again. You bitches are weird. And let's have a conversation about, you know, I love, shout out to Scotty by Nature, but this is not just something that he has said. It has been said by some people that they feel like Willie and Akeisha, but specifically Willie, has like a northerner thing where he feels like he's better than everybody. And I've heard like Glenn and them kind of say that too. This is how I feel about it. I am from New York City, right? I lived in New York City the first half of my life. Going into high school, I left New York and I went down south, right? Now, I want to be fair here because there is a certain arrogance that I can't speak for everybody up north. I'm going to speak from New York. There is an arrogance that people from New York walk around with. And if you are not used to that shit, it's very off-putting. And I feel like in the South, people are very like humble. So that type of dichotomy of somebody walking around like they that nigga or they that girl, it's off-putting because that's just not how it is in the South. Everybody's real humble, real like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not the same energy. So I will agree that Willie does carry a certain air of confidence, but I don't think that means that he looks down on people from the South and that he thinks that y'all are country bumpkins. I think that people that's like, especially like from New York, that whole little tri-state area, they walk around like that everywhere. Like they could go to Cali and they carry themselves like that. They carry like themselves like that in the Midwest. I don't think it is specific to the fact that because people like our country or like that they're in the South that it's like I look down on you type of thing. No, I really think that niggas from the tri-state area really are just cocky and arrogant as hell. You can place them niggas in Tokyo and I promise you they're gonna walk around and act the same way. As somebody that's born and bred there, Whole family is, okay? I'm telling you, that's just how they walk around. I don't think it's oh, we think we're better than you because we're from up north and you're from down here. Now, I do think that there are people that are like that. I do think that, but I don't think that Willie is like that. I think that Willie, number one, doesn't like to be down there, not because of the people. I think he just genuinely, but he lives in New Jersey / New York. New Jersey / New York and Jackson, Mississippi are you can't get much more opposite as far as like how shit is, right? So it seems like Willie just kind of prefers to be like up north where there's a little bit more shit like really going on, to be quite honest. He just prefers that environment over being down there. And I think his annoyance is the fact that I don't want to live down here, period. But I have to come down here because my wife wants to be on the show. I also think that Willie does not want to be on this show. And I don't think that has anything to do with anybody being country. I think he just doesn't like the premise and the people and some of the people on the show. And thirdly, like I brought up before, Willie and JJ have a podcast together, and Willie and JJ are actually really, really close. JJ is the countryest, don't know what the hell he's talking about person out of all of the men on the cast. Literally the countryest person. And him and Willie are close as hell. I don't think that Willie has a problem with Glenn and Cliff because they're country and they're slow. I think he has a problem with them because they're slow, period. Now it just so happens that y'all are country as hell too. So it might not be the nicest thing to do, but if I already don't like you, yeah, I'm probably gonna throw some shots at you, whether I really mean it as a whole or not. So no shade. What Glenn had on was country as hell. That's some tacky ass country shit. And if I'm Willie and I'm digging in that ass, I'm saying that. But I don't think that means that he looks down on people that like live down south. I think he looks down on those two niggas that live down in the south. That's what I think. So I don't really see it that way. And like I said, I really think that Willie just doesn't like Glenn and Cliff. And they interpret that as, oh, he's looking down on us because we're from here. No. Because he don't got a problem with JJ. He don't got a problem with this person. He don't got a problem with that person. He has a problem with y'all. And I think that's because he watches the show. He sees how trash. Y'all are trash. We don't like y'all as an audience. Why the hell would he? But I want to say a lot to say is that I was with Akeisha. Baby, the way I stand 10 toes for my husband, I'm not playing. Latrice and Lateisha tried to hop on a live and tried to explain, girl, we don't care. We're not on y'all side. Like, just keep it. The comments are not on your side. They're not on your side. We don't care. Y'all are wrong. It doesn't matter though, because Latrice is never going to be able to check Cliff ever. Cliff is going to tell her to shut the hell up and go be pretty. And Glenn is just, all of the bulbs ain't on there. He's not the brightest crayon in the Crayola box. And Latisha's a dummy. Latisha's literally a dummy. So we got 4 dummies. We're not going to get anywhere. Of course, there's not going to be no accountability. We got 4 dummies here. That shit really pissed me off, y'all. That really made me mad that Latrice and Lateisha tried to say that was Willie and Akeisha's fault. It's y'all husband's fault. And y'all already let them get away with whatever. So to think that y'all was going to hold them accountable for this is insane. Y'all will never do that. But know that the comments are not on your side. And y'all can do whatever y'all want to do at the reunion. It's only going to make y'all look worse. It's only going to make you look worse. Y'all get in the comments. How much you think. Come on, bye.